what's poppin', guys? Sizzle here, and today we're taking a look at the least used weapon of all time in CS, the M249. And see, the base version looks horrible. I mean, yeah, it's super beat up all over the place, except for I think the green part here is the mag. Except for whatever this green part is, everything else is beat up, and I guess the back end for some reason, but it just looks horrible. Probably one of the few F tier, stock weapons out there. So, that is where I'm going to be putting it. And yeah, it has a lot less skins than most other weapons, so this one's going to probably be a shorter video. Anyway, first up we have the M249 Jungle DD Pet, which is, it's your standard camo skin. I don't like camo skins, but I guess it's a little bit better than stock. Probably still an F tier though. Then we have the M249 Contrast Spray, which is... I don't know what this is. I think this is the texture they use on the Scorched. I don't know. It's got like a white-gray background with a bunch of random spray-painted lines on it and a ton of wear because it's an older skin. It also doesn't look particularly nice, but it's at least a little bit bright and kind of stands out from stock. Like, at least someone's knowing that you have a skin. And with how rarely the M249 is used, that honestly might be enough. So I'm going to put it in D tier for now. Might even move it up because there's not that many skins to go around. Then we have the M249 Impact Drill, just a really clean version of what the stock is, basically. Like, you have this clean, I don't even know what color this really is. Like, whatever color this is, I think it's some color blue. It's like a blue-tan mix, but this color is nice, the back color is nice, it's really clean. I mean, you can't even see, like, a scratch or anything on the back. The mag is a really nice color of yellow, and the front part is also a nice color of yellow, and you do see the mag. Mostly in game you're looking like this, almost. So you basically just see this mag, and then maybe a little bit of the front of the weapon. So it's actually really nice with all these colors. Probably a solid B tier, might even move it up based on, the other skins the M249 has to offer. Then we have the M249 Jungle, which is... it's a green finish instead for the body. With a gray box and a brown back. Not the best colors I would use, but still a very clean overall finish. I think it's this. I'm gonna say it's a solid C tier. It's not the colors I like, but it's just a solid finish with mediocre colors. Then we have the M249 Predator. It's just another camo looking skin. It's not really that great. Probably yet another F tier for me. I don't like camo skins. If you watch any of my videos, you'll know I do not like camo skins at all. Then we have the M249 Blizzard Marbleized, which is a weird name. Also a weird skin. I don't know if there's any other versions of anything with Blizzard or Marbleized in the word. I can kind of see why. I mean, it's trying to kind of have snow come down across the weapon, except it's really old from the Office collection, so they didn't really have the kind of ability to do that, and obviously they don't update skins or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's got a really nice back end, obviously, because there's no wear really there. There is a lot of wear in the front, and that's just going to happen even with the best of old skins, just because old skins are like that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a snowy skin. You can kind of see what they were going for, and it does kind of come across. I think I actually messed this up. This is like the Scorch one from before. I'm going to say this is a solid B tier, and I'm going to move that yellow one up to A tier, because it was really just a nice clean finish. Then we have the M249 Gator Mesh, infamously known for being like the lowest float skin in all of CS. Unfortunately, it's not really a good skin. It's just a camo skin with like a hexagon netting to it. It is a nice-ish looking camo skin and somewhat realistic, so I guess we'll give it credit for that, and I will put it... also, just for infamy points, I guess. I'll also be putting that in D tier if I can find it. It's kinda... I'm assuming it's this one. I mean, no, I think actually this is it, and then this was the other one from before. Whatever, they're kind of hard to tell when they're that small, but yeah, it's a solid high D tier, I guess, just out of infamy alone. Then we have, I think this is the M249 Shipping Forecast, another name I've never heard before. It's got a nice, interesting color of like I think it's turquoise and navy blue in the back. The pattern on the weapon isn't particularly nice, but the The fact that the sun thing here has like the rings around it on the mag is actually a really nice detail, because that's what you actually see most of the time in the game. You see this mag, it takes up like half your screen. If I'm remembering correctly. I mean, I don't use this thing that often, but yeah, it's got an interesting color scheme with a somewhat okay-ish design. Honestly, just for the color scheme, probably putting this low B tier, even though the design is really not all there, and it still is kind of dull. There's just not a lot of M249 skins out there. Then we have the M249 Midnight Palm. Really dull skin with just kind of like grayish purple finish with a couple leaves on it. Not really great, honestly. It just really isn't. I'm just gonna put this top D tier. It's definitely probably still better than stock, but that's about it really. It's too dull. Then we have the M249 Humidor, another really dull skin. This one at least with a super intricate design across the whole thing, with a bunch of vines and flowers and shit just wrapping around this entire skin. It's not particularly crazy or anything, but it really is not all that bad, so I'll give it some credit for that. You know, it looks kinda okay. Just basically like the other thing we have in B tier, but with like a worse color scheme, honestly. Yeah, that's all there's to say about it. Then we have the M249 Magma. This is one of the weirdest skins in CS for me. I literally have never seen anyone make something like this since it came out, and I never see this thing used because no one ever buys an M249 unless they're winning really hard and they really want to troll instead of just ending it. It's like a weirdly rusted skin. There's a lot of interesting different colors of rust and stuff all on here, and it still has the stock mag, which kind of looks kind of beautiful alongside this. But it's just really unique, and honestly, just for how unique it is, I'm gonna put this up in A tier. I think it's a very interesting skin. I don't think it's particularly amazing or anything, but honestly, with how little you use this weapon, having something that sticks out like this and people are gonna be like, "What is this?" That's kind of a cool feature, especially in such an old weapon. Then we have the M249 System Lock, which is kind of a red finish, but also still half default on the front and stuff for some reason. Yeah, it's mainly a red finish for the M249. It's okay. It's nothing crazy. It's not a full red finish. It probably just belongs in the middle of B tier, if I'm being honest. Then we have the M249 Spectre. I think that's what I currently have right now, and I think you can kind of see why. It's got just an overall clean finish. Mostly white. I guess it's kind of camo-like in nature, but it also has this middle section that's, you know, gray and yellow that kind of holds it together. I mean, it's just somewhat clean. I'm probably just gonna put this one A tier as well. It's just a clean finish overall. There's a reason I have this one right now, I'm pretty sure. Then we have the M249 Warbird, which, yeah, it's like the stuff people say they like about camo skins is that they're like, you know, kind of realistic and look like they've been used and whatever. I think this takes that to the whole next level. Like, this thing looks like it's been through several wars and several different owners, and it actually does a really good job of it. Like, the dirt and rust and everything is all in the right places and is actually pretty well done quality-wise. Like, it doesn't look like extremely low res or whatever like some of these do. Honestly, just a pretty unique take on the more realistic skin. Still not really the best skin. Like, I wouldn't personally use it, but honestly, I'll put it in high C tier, just to give it some credit for that. Like, not my type of skin, but the people that like stuff like this will absolutely love this skin. Then we have the M249 Deep Relief, which is, I remember actually looking at this before. It's one of those, like, 3D, 2D skins, except this one's just having, like, coves on the weapon, like, several layers of, like, coves, or, like, lithium mines, whatever you want to go with. Just all over the weapon, and there's nothing else going on. But the colors of green actually do help it stand out a little bit, and the background's just really bland. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it is kind of interesting, at least, to look at, and you can probably look at it for a little while, so I'll put it in the middle of B tier. Then next up we have the final blue, the M249 OSIPR, which is just a futuristic metallic M249. Like, this looks out of like the Terminator. It actually looks really cool, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wish the M249 was good so you'd see this, because I mean, just look at this. This looks actually stunningly beautiful. Maybe I'm coming around to liking the stock looking weapons, but I really do just like this. I think this looks really cool. Probably solid A tier. Right in the middle about there. And next up, we have our first purple, the M249 Nebula Crusader, which, yeah, I think this one goes along with the Dead Space or whatever, like the one for the M4A4. Not 100% sure, but it's got like Space Invaders, I think. Right, you got like the Space Invaders lives and power-ups and the little ship right there. And then you got like some comic-looking art because that was common in arcade machines, and you have the same kind of nice red finish that the other skin had, but just with a lot more detail on the weapon. And yeah, it's pretty solid. I'd say probably another A tier, and I think I'm gonna move some stuff up here. I think this is more realistic that those three are S tier, and then this is an A tier skin. Then next up we have the M249 Emerald Poison Dart, which just looks like a shitty camo skin. I don't even want to give it the time of day. Probably just like a, I don't know, mid-D tier. Yeah, can't even speak anymore. Then we have the M249 Aztec, which is our second to last skin already. There's not that many of them out there, which is, it's interesting. It's got like a Aztec temple design just across the whole thing. It looks actually really high quality, like the way they, I don't know how they modeled this to look so extra 3D, but they really did a good job with it. I mean, it looks really cool from a lot of different angles. And for some reason it still has the same stock mag. That's the only thing I can really give it, bad credit on, but I think it's a pretty cool skin. Probably an A tier for like the similar reasons that the other, that this thing is an A tier in the middle. I kind of messed up the order now, but you guys know where everything is. And now our final skin already is the M249 Downtown. There's no pinks or reds for the M249, like not even Valve likes this weapon. And it's just a graffiti skin. Graffiti of a bunch of arrows going everywhere. It's not particularly insane. It's not really bad or anything. Probably just a low A tier. And yeah, this actually ended up being the most balanced tier list I think I've made in a while. Not because it necessarily should be, but in terms of M249 skins, they all kind of fit very well into their tiers. I don't think there's really a lot you can disagree with on here, except maybe if you like the comic, like Space Invader one a lot. That's like maybe the one thing I would maybe move around. Otherwise, I think I actually nailed this one right on the head. But yeah, I know this is kind of a short one, but there really is just there's like 20 M249 skins, there's like 40 of every other weapon. So it just ended up being a lot shorter. Either way, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.